Vlog about the next few minutes or so, Amazing Magic Show from 1979, 4 years ago, okay. It's vlog about the Amazing Magic Show from my heart, seriously, straight from my heart. My favourite magic shows of all time. David Copperfield number 2, okay, from 1979. Let's vlog about the Amazing Magic Show from 1979. David Copperfield number 2, okay. It's a classic magic show, okay. I want to talk about it because it's close to my heart, seriously. One of the first magic show I ever saw in my life. Still love it, okay. So let's vlog about the next few minutes, the Amazing Magic Show, David Copperfield number 2, okay, from 1979. Here we're going to go. David Copperfield number 2, of course. Now, David Copperfield number 2, many people think David Copperfield number 2 from 1979, it's 42 years ago. Many people think that David Copperfield number 2, when Copperfield was only 22 years old, this guy's 22 years old, seriously. It's amazing, isn't it? This guy's 22 years old, this young David Copperfield. He was a young guy from New Jersey, was it? That kind of area, was it? Very young indeed, seriously. And of course, I've got to say, you know, this guy is very young, he just got on stage, he was supposed to be on, you know, a few years on doing shows and that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Theatre shows, kind of stuff, Broadway kind of stuff. This guy's really young. This guy got a TV show in America, and of course he blew the world apart in many ways with magic. Seriously, amazing guy. Seriously. And of course, he'd been on television the year before with Orson Welles, of course, famous Orson Welles, of course, been on television the year before. And now in 1979, his own TV show, David Copperfield number 2. So many people think David Copperfield number 2 from 1979 is one of the best shows of all time. Maybe it is. Maybe it's is it good as Copperfield number? I don't know. Copperfield 11 is maybe better than supposed to Encounter show, which I think is the best show of all time. I have to say, nevertheless, Copperfield 2 is a great magic show, even though Copperfield's very young, 22-year-old guy. So can you imagine you doing a big TV spectacular in Hollywood when you're 22 years old? Seriously, it's amazing, isn't it? These guys are so young in the USA, aren't they? These guys start so. Anyway, have a look at this show. I'm not going to take one now, of course. And we'll talk a bit about this magic show, because I won't probably cover all of it, but I'll cover a lot of the best bits of the show, because it's a great magic show. It's a bit old, it's a bit dated, yes, it's a bit old-fashioned, yes, because it's 40 years old, of course, and the clothes are kind of flare, you know, the flare collars kind of stuff, the kind of old clothes, but it still looks really, really good, and it's technically an amazing, ingenious kind of magic show, seriously, okay. And of course, it begins with Bill Bixby. Bill Bixby introduced. Remember Bill Bixby? Incredible Hulk, wasn't he, back in the day, back in the 1970s? Remember the Incredible Hulk? So Bill Bixby was a magician, actually. He kind of introduced the show. Now, basically, we go from there to an amazing beginning. The beginning kind of opens with David Copperfield, quite young lad sat in a chair, kind of James Bondish, you know, with the old eyebrows, looking that kind of stuff, a bit James Bondish. And they kind of does an amazing dancing handkerchief routine. Dancing handkerchief's classic routine. There's a big cabinet on the middle of the stage. He's just done a solid Hollywood stage back in those days. And Copperfield gets to the cabinet, and they have handkerchiefs and dance around the cabinet, and the handkerchief's popping in and out of the cabinet, and Copperfield disappears, and the cabinet reappears, and then the handkerchief flies around the place, and in and out of holes, and arms pop out of the cabinet. It's really amazing illusion. This is choreographed amazingly, seriously. The dancing handkerchief illusion, seriously. The whole cabinet's kind of full of this handkerchief dancing around it. Copperfield picks up a handkerchief, and the handkerchief flies behind the handkerchief, and there's all really clever stuff, seriously. Arms and legs pop out of the cabinet, Copperfield gets sucked in the cabinet, and then the kind of like the curtain drops down, and the Copperfield's completely disappeared entirely. Amazing stuff, seriously, okay. And then it reappears after disappearing, reappears sat in a little chair in front of the stage, basically. But it's a really brilliant illusion. This is a masterpiece of choreography, so watching it right now on television right now. Masterpiece of choreography, the dance is good, the cabinet goes round 360 degrees, choreography is amazing, the dance, the illusion, the whole way it's done by Copperfield is amazing, seriously. It's a lovely illusion. Great to start the show. This is technically quite amazing. The actual timing, the choreography, the dance, the whole thing of this handkerchief routine is amazing, seriously. Check it out. Have a look at this one now. This is a bit of the dancing handkerchief routine. Very impressive indeed, seriously. basically that we go to illusion. I think we're the best illusion on the whole show. This is a Copperfield's floating glitterball. Now, floating glitterball, of course, was always seen as a classic of an illusion. Now, this is going back obviously 40 years. I always thought over the years, and that's 40 years since I saw this illusion. I've thought all my life, seriously, this floating glitterball is one of the best illusions of all time. Could be in the top 20 of all time. Seriously, it's that good. Basically, it's like a vignette. It's kind of a ballroom. Basically, Copperfield wants to woo the girl in the ballroom. It's dances about the place in the ballroom. Big red curtain behind, and above them, everyone's dancing around in a good old ballroom dancing, like street club dancing. You know what I mean? Above the big glitter ball above them. Very beautiful routine, right out of street club dancing, really. This is 1979, and they basically have a big glitter ball. Copperfield wants to woo the girl basically, and he can't do it. So basically, he kind of freezes time. Everyone freezes. Time freezes. Everyone freezes. The dancers will freeze. Copperfield waves his hand, and the big glitter ball comes down from the ceiling, floats around the place. Amazing, seriously. But glitter ball's quite massive. Okay, flies through a hoop. Copperfield chumps the glitter ball. The glitter ball flies everywhere. Then basically, Copperfield gets a bit of cloth after wooing the girl, puts the cloth over the glitter ball. The glitter ball flows up in the air. Copperfield clicks his fingers, bang, and suddenly the cloth drops. The glitter ball disappears entirely. Bush, amazing stuff. Seriously, glitter ball disappears entirely. Amazing, isn't it? And of course, it's a beautiful routine. Now, this is the best routine I've ever seen. The choreography again, this show is amazing. The dance, the movement, the choreography is amazing. And again, this is Hollywood back in the 1970s. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? This is that. I think the old Hollywood meets the new Hollywood of the 1980s, isn't it? But it's an amazing show. Love the dance, love the choreography, love the ideas, the concept. This show's about, again, as with all magic, it's about narrative. But good magic's always got a good narrative to it, hasn't it? It's got a good plot, a good narrative to it. And this is classic narrative magic, seriously. Again, the glitter ball looks amazing, okay, the weight floats looks amazing, the weight goes to the hoop looks amazing, the weight disappears is amazing. I mean, I couldn't even figure out how it disappears. It's really good. I know Copperfield loved this illusion an awful lot. I believe on the day, the ball originally when he shot it, and a couple of takes the ball dropped and smashed on the floor, okay? I know that happened in the original takes. But you managed to get it on film. It's an amazing illusion. Do check it out. If you want to see one thing on the whole of the show, and one thing if you want to know about magic, check out the floating glitter ball by Copperfield. It looks amazing, seriously. And I love the way the ball vanishes at the end of the routine. Amazing stuff, seriously. Copperfield's body language, again, the dance movement with the ball is amazing. Better than Doug Henning did it, better than other people did it. Because many people have done this illusion, seriously. I think PC Sawcard did it as well, Indian magician. But Copperfield's version, again, with the movement, the dress, the body language, the whole scenario of the narrative illusion is amazing. And it's a great piece of theatre as well. So check it out, Copperfield's Floating Glitter Ball. I cannot say enough about this amazing illusion. I love it personally, really good illusion. From there we go to another illusion as well. After that we go to another illusion, we'll go to the next bit as well. I'm looking at what's next. I think after that he has a number of illusions of this. Bill. Here it has an illusion with a lady called Laurie. I think Laurie Anderson is a girl comes stage basically, kind of Lonnie Anderson. This is kind of dance comes on. This is the late 70s. A bit of a sexy kind of routine here. He has a poster of Lonnie Anderson. He basically like has a picture of her in a bikini, and he tends to take the bikini off. You know, that kind of sexy kind of stuff. So a magic trick illusion. Check it out. It's on the video on the Copperfield #2 show. He kind of undresses her in a kind of a sexy kind of way, but it's kind of a funny kind of comedy routine really for the family. It's okay. Back in the 70s, those kind of things were okay, weren't they? Those kind of illusions. It's a bit of a sexy kind of routine with a poster and Laurie Anderson's bikini. But it's a funny routine. Check it out. It's a funny routine. I won't go into it, but it's quite an amusing kind of routine. Really typical 1970s kind of comedy, kind of sexiness kind of stuff. It's quite a good routine from there. I wouldn't recommend it. But it's not. It's quite funny anyway. Though I don't think that kind of sexy stuff Copperfield normally does. Then we go to another routine called the Jewel Thief. Jewel Thief again is a good routine. Jewel Thief is another classic routine of Copperfield. Basically, it's a big setting, a kind of Manhattan setting with a kind of what's like a jewelry shop basically. And Copperfield again acts like a jewel thief. This is a model on a kind of Hitchcock film apparently called To Catch a Thief apparently by Hitchcock. Copperfield's a massive Hitchcock fan apparently. It was back in the day, he loved Hitchcock so much he actually did a kind of vignettes and kind of theatrical routines based around Alfred Hitchcock kind of movies. This is kind of a jewel thief kind of routine. He gets on there basically, dances around, he's in a kind of jewel thief kind of outfit, like a suave kind of Pink Panther kind of guy, walking around the place, taking jewels off girls. He's kind of vanishing handkerchiefs and making them appear on girls in their pockets and pulling the pocket out. As he pulls handkerchief out of the pocket, he pulls out their watch or something, or pulls out the jewelry off their neck or something. And jewelry appears, jewelry disappears, kind of stuff. Eventually he dances with a girl, then he gets on a big podium, and then they put behind a kind of white projection. You see him kind of like with the girl behind the projection, and suddenly the projection, the canvas comes down, and Copperfield's there's a cardboard cutout basically. It's quite a weird kind of illusion, so check that out. Have a look at this, it's quite good. This is Copperfield doing the amazing, a bit of the jewelry thief routine again. Have a look at this one, that's quite interesting routine seriously. Again, it's pretty good, and it's interesting kind of a vignette again of using jewelry and magic and wove into the usual narrative, okay, of the routine. Check this out one, that's quite good. Best to have a look at this routine rather than describe it. It's kind of a weird routine, but it's very good indeed. The jewelry thief routine right now. Check this out, okay. We go from there basically after that jewelry thief. Jewelry thief's pretty good. Again, Copperfield loves these kind of theatrical vignettes, doesn't he? A lot of the routines back in the day were theatrical vignettes, weren't they? With theatre and that kind of thing, and dance get moulded into something, don't they? Into narrative, basically. Then we go from the routine for this. Look at the routine now. I won't go through the whole show. I'll go through some of the show. There's a version, of course, of Flying Ring. Of course, Flying Ring where Koran, there's a girl out of the audience, basically gets a ring off the girl in the audience and makes it disappear in his fingers, and it appears in his pocket, okay, in a kind of key ring holder kind of thing. In the hand, disappears entirely, and it appears in his pocket. You know, it's a vanishing flying ring routine invented by a guy called Koran about 60, 70 years ago, basically. Really old trick, seriously. Copperfield does pretty well here. It did again many years later. Copperfield in 2013, I think Copperfield, the 1993 thing was Copperfield was supposed to be Copperfield's show, the show he did where he did the bit when he the show when he kind of escaped from the burning rope, that kind of show he did back about 1993. Basically did that as there anyway, basically. And the same version of Vanishing Ring and making it appear in a kid's sneaker, okay. This is quite a good version as well, but this is a classic version of Koran's Flying Ring. Ring disappears entirely, appears in a key ring in your pocket, basically. It's a really good trick. If you want to learn magic, really, the Koran Flying Ring is a great trick for you if you want to learn magic. Copperfield does it very well here indeed, as usual. It's a very beautiful, kind of very simple, very pure bit of magic, the Flying Ring by Koran, okay. Done again, usually very well, but Copperfield as usual here, okay. After that, we do an amazing kind of routine again, where he kind of does a kind of 1950s kind of routine, where he has a kind of 1950s kind of funny kind of 1950s kind of routine. Really, he has a kind of big radio stage. He's got the version of Vanishing radio basically. He kind of gets the radio base on the stage. And he kind of dressed with a 1950 kind of rocker, okay, with it, with the collars and kind of stuff. And the girl, he got a girlfriend with him basically, and the radio's on front of the stage and like that. And she turns the radio knob and puts on a station with a kind of funny, kind of sweet music, and he puts on a kind of rock and roll 50s music on. And they have a bit of a fight between on the radio, what the one that playing the radio basically, that kind of stuff. You know, she's twiddling the knob and on comes sweet music, he twiddles the knob and on comes rock and roll kind of stuff basically, and they have a big good dance together kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And in the end of the routine anyway, basically, having had a bit of a ding-dong with his girlfriend, basically, he takes a big handkerchief, puts it over the radio, okay, having not agreed what radio station they should listen to, okay, and then he picks the radio up and makes it disappear in his fingertips. It's a really good trick again, seriously. This is a classic Vanishing radio trick again. Then this trick is, this vignette again is built, now it's built around the radio basically, okay. So the radio is a simple Vanishing radio kind of trick, but he builds a whole narrative around the whole Vanishing radio basically. It's quite a good trick. The Vanishing radio is done really well. The way he puts the radio, the way he handles it again is beautifully done again. The radio disappears is really good as well, seriously. Love the rock and roll kind of stuff as well on the routine. Good routine, check it out. Copperfield's Vanishing radio with his girlfriend kind of stuff. Good fun, seriously. I do like that trick indeed, okay. And we go from there basically from there to classic night shift. There's another thing, a night shift classic. This is a very odd trick to do that seriously. This is called the Canary and egg and lemon trick basically. This is the trick going back about 900 basically, the days of Robert Houdin, back about 150 years ago or so, French kind of magicians, okay. This is a really old classic magic trick. It's never done nowadays, okay. It's a real Victorian trick, but it's done, I don't know, it's never done nowadays basically. It's the vanishing kind of like canary and egg and lemon basically. What happened, you give a canary and egg and lemon basically. Copperfield does this really well again on the stage. Good to see this trick, seriously. He gets the kind of canary right, and he kind of puts it in the bag and the canary disappears entirely, okay. It's a real live canary, okay. It's not harmed at all, seriously. It takes an egg, okay, and what he does, he takes the egg and passes the eggs magically into the lemon basically, okay. Right, so now he's got a lemon. Then what he does then is, right, he then gets a knife and cuts the lemon open and takes the egg out, okay. Cracks the egg open, and from inside the egg pops out the canary, okay. It's really good, seriously, okay. It's a weird trick, isn't it? So basically the canary is real canary, okay. The canary appears inside the egg, inside the lemon basically. It's a really good trick. So it's not done very much nowadays. It's very rare to see it nowadays. It was done back in the 70s quite a bit by many magicians, I think. And of course, Copperfield's version is done again exquisitely. In fact, this one best in the show again. Again, the dance movement, the body language again with this, the way he vanishes the canary is brilliant. The way the canary, where he handles the props like the bird cage and the egg and the lemon handles so well, seriously. This is a virtuoso man again from a guy who's 22 years old, but this guy had nailed it, hadn't he? He nailed the way of moving, dance movement, that kind of stuff, body language around the magic. So this is a great trick, seriously. Do check it out again. This is the Vanishing Canary and Egg and Lemon, okay. There's many versions of the trick. I remember Paul Daniels did a version of this trick where he made money, I think he put a walnut inside an egg inside a lemon basically, okay. It's a good trick, isn't it? But this is a good trick. So that's canary and egg and lemon. It's a good trick, sir. So go back Victorian times. Done exquisitely well, Copperfield as usual. Okay, I do love it very much indeed. Illusion again, where he has his girlfriend again, has that kind of vignette. I think he did this in the Niagara Falls show many years later again, where he kind of has his girlfriend and he's in his attic and he's kind of missing his girlfriend, the kind of thing. He's looking at the picture of his girlfriend and suddenly she appears from nowhere, basically, you know, by his side, and it's kind of a dream of her being there, you know what I mean? You know, you miss your girlfriend kind of stuff, you know, miss your girlfriend, you know, you love her, someone you haven't seen for a few years and you want to see him again, you never see him again, do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. We've all been there, haven't we, you know? Copperfield kind of like, basically kind of like, his girlfriend appears from nowhere next to him like a kind of ghost, and she sits in a chair, he puts a cloth over her basically, pulls the cloth away and she disappears entirely. Okay, it's a very beautiful kind of illusion, and a vignette done very well indeed, seriously, as usual Copperfield. Okay, done beautifully well, I've got to say. I do love the vignette style of it. It's a beautiful done with motion music, and there's a lovely version of Vanishing Girl and Chair, basically, an old illusion again, to go back 120 odd years or so, back to Victorian days basically, but again they're done with a beautiful narrative again, okay, of the girl, missing girlfriend kind of narrative, being in love with somebody, not seeing them again, and then they appearing as a kind of a ghost in their mind kind of thing, and then disappearing again. Beautifully done again. This is why Copperfield's a great magician, because he builds narrative so well around magic, seriously, and that's what you see with magic. And so narrative built so well around it, the heartstrings are pulled kind of stuff, and you feel emotional. It's not only what you see with magic, it's also what you feel, isn't it? You certainly feel when you see these kind of narrative illusions, don't you? Where there's a theatrical plot to it. You feel that the magic's there, the magic's built around the whole narrative, and the heartstrings are pulled kind of stuff, and you feel for the person, don't you? That's what Copperfield's great, because his narratives are beautiful, aren't they, seriously? And also the love narrative and losing a lover was a good narrative to go with magic, isn't it, of course? I love that kind of stuff, don't you? You can put it down, can't you, basically? And finally, of course, the illusion kind of finally ends up the same with the beautiful version of the kind of detective routine. Detective routine really good as well. I guess Raymond Chandler kind of detective routine. He kind of in the back street of New York kind of stuff as a detective. And the girl appears, the girl disappears in the box kind of trick. You know what I mean? He does quite a good trick in this. Where the girl he plays with the detective gets aboard a kind of fire escape ladder next to him. Okay, and then she kind of disappears entirely, and then she reappears. It's kind of, I think it's actually the ladder's kind of empty above him basically, and he gets a bit of flame, throws flame up in the air, and the girl appears sort of on the kind of ladder basically right next to him. It's really all good. You're going to get a very good trick about 100 years or so. The girl appearing on a ladder and disappearing on a ladder basically. This is pretty very good version trick indeed, seriously. It's very good indeed. I think the girl also that disappears upon a bed basically. It's done very well indeed. And then she reappears on top of a kind of fire escape ladder type of thing. Very well done again, seriously. I've got to say, I do love it very much indeed. And it's very interesting to see the illusion. And of course the narrative again is quite fun again, built around the detective routine. A very good routine indeed. It's back in 1979. This kind of show was very popular back in those days, as you can imagine. So again, the magic on the show is really massive magic. It's very enjoyable magic, isn't it? Okay, back in the classical 1970s, kind of 80s, early 80s kind of magic, isn't it? And good for the days. That's the beautiful kind of enjoyable kind of detective routine that's kind of phenomenal of the show. This is the appearance of Alan Allen. Okay. Alan Allen appears on the show. I'm looking at it right now and here. Alan Allen was a friend of mine. Alan Allen was a mentor of mine, basically. He's a mentor of me and a guy called Mike Vincent, a very good black magician who's still performing. Mike Vincent and me kind of, we used to go an awful lot to Alan Allen's shop in Holborn in London, basically. And Alan Allen told me very much about how Tom he appeared in Dave Copperfield number 2. Alan Allen appears in Dave Copperfield number 2. Alan Allen, or Alan Rabinovich, his name seriously, was the best escapologist, the Houdini style of escapology ever, 20th century, basically. The short guy, okay, with that wiry kind of hair, kind of lovely, kind of very short guy, kind of weird guy in many ways, a very unique guy, a very eccentric idea, seriously. Of course, he appears in Copperfield number 2 here, and it's amazing watching this right now. I'm watching this right now on television. This guy's amazing, okay. This guy basically invented the burning rubber escape, basically, where you could basically got Alan Allen basically. It's up in chains, basically, hung up from burning rope, basically. The rope's set on fire, basically. He's upside down, he's in chains, he's wriggling around the place like, you know what I mean? The rope's on fire, wriggling around the place like this. And suddenly, of course, the rope breaks and he gets off the rope and out the chains and he's free. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. It's really a good kind of escapology. And Alan apparently invented this trick back in the 1950s, okay? And he did it so many times, he told me, they had to see a doctor. The doctor recommended he stop doing it, okay? But whatever happened with him, he was performing at the Copperfield show in 1979. And a good gig, wasn't it? Told me about it. He went to Hollywood. He went to film at Hollywood Soundstage, basically, Universal Studios. He told me all about it. So what's this? Have a look at this right now. Here's Alan Allen performing here amazingly on the 1979 show. And of course, Alan Allen was a great friend of mine. Alan Allen, of course, is really amazing, okay? He was an amazing guy, seriously. I went with him Magic Circle with him. I went with him to Phantom Opera with him. I went to theatre with him. He taught me a lot of tricks. I went to his flat. He taught me some magic stuff. He was an amazing guy. He lived up in Holborn and in London, basically. And yeah, he was a great guy. He was obviously very good friends with Copperfield as well. Him and Copperfield were very good friends. Copperfield, I think, for some extent on the show, interesting enough, you into magic, kind of modelled himself a bit on Alan Allen, the way he looks. He kind of looks a bit Alan Allen-ish with the way he looks, basically, the camera. I think Copperfield really loved Alan Allen, and Alan Allen was a really great guy. And if you got to friends Alan Allen, you were very safe and sound, because Alan Allen was a really good teacher of magic, really, a good lecturer of magic, and taught me magic, taught people like Mike Vincent magic. And he was a great place. Alan Allen's Magic Spot was a real place to visit in London, seriously, and I loved visiting it. So, as I say, check out the show, Copperfield number 2. There's Alan Allen's performance is amazing on it, seriously. The Burning Rubber Escape's amazing. I do love it, okay. And it's lovely to see Alan Allen now, 40 odd years later, because he died in 2014. He died at the age of about 86, 87 years old when he died, basically. Alan did. I love you, Alan. So I love you, Alan. I hope Alan, you're right, Alan, seriously out there. But as I say, he was a great magician. I do love Alan. I really, really hope and wish I'd seen him again more recently. I didn't see him since about 1993. And for about 10, 13 years or so, I used to see him an awful lot. I used to go every few weeks to see him in his magic shop in London, basically. And he had regular kind of friends, like Mike Vincent, me, kind of popping in to see him an awful lot. And he taught me a lot of good things about magic and a lot of philosophy of magic as well. Magic's not about doing tricks, it's also about philosophy of magic as well, seriously. It's all philosophy attached to magic as well. Taught me a lot about philosophy as well, seriously. Very good guy, very intelligent, very philosophical, very enjoyable stuff. And it's lovely seeing him performing here, Copperfield number 2, The Burning Rubber Escape. Amazing stuff, seriously. I do love it. And please, if you see one thing in the show, please check out Alan Allen's performance on Copperfield number 2 from 1979. moments. Love seeing that, okay, and I have to say, because I'll make a video myself probably about it, because there's something to say about it, but I'll make a separate video about Alan Allen, because there's much to say about him, seriously. Hope you enjoyed very much indeed. That's Alan Allen. You've got this Copperfield number 2, okay, the show's really amazing show, isn't it? You've got the amazing glitter ball floating, you've got the amazing dancing handkerchief routine in the beginning, okay, with the cabinet, you've got that, you've got the flying ring, you've got the detective routine, you've got the jewel thief routine, okay, in the show, you've got the Vanishing radio routine in it, which is done really well, you've got the Canary and egg and lemon routine again with the birdcage routine, you've got that in it. Alan Allen as well doing the escapes. It's a great show, seriously. Alan Allen said to me he thought it was the best match ever done, seriously. I mean, people think it's the best match of all time. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Me personally, Copperfield number 11, okay, the Explosive Encounter show from 1989, 1990 is the best show I think I've seen in my life, seriously, still is. But this show comes a pretty close second to it. Great magic show. This is before Copperfield did the big stuff like Vanishing the Airplane and the Statue of Liberty, okay, and Walking Through a Great Wall of China or Escape from Alcatraz. So before we do those big shows, but it's a great show. I do really go check the show. So it's on YouTube right now. Someone very lucky to put it on YouTube right now. It's very kind of them to do that, okay. So check the show out, please check it out. It's on there right now. Before it gets deleted, check out Copperfield number 2 from 1979. It's a great bunch of shows, seriously. To Magic History and Illusion, please check the show out, please do, seriously, okay. So look after this again, remember to get COVID jab, please do. Thanks for listening to me again. Thanks to all my subscribers, please subscribe, please do. Thanks to everyone who subscribed to me so far. Help channel out, please do. And please hit the subscribe button, help me out, please do, okay, to make more magic videos for you, okay. Please do, okay. Remember, click links below for 100 videos of magic chat illusion. I made about 110 videos of magic, so please check the videos out. I made many videos of magic chat illusion, seriously. Please check the channel out, please do. And click links below for that, okay. And look after this again for a few more days, please do, okay. I've got some more magic coming out today and over the weekend as well on YouTube. Please check it out, please do, okay, including, I think, Racing 13 Magic Trick as well. Look after yourselves again for a few more days, okay. Click the subscribe button to get very soon for some more magic and chat and illusion, okay. See you later on. Bye for now.